Okay, so we had some tech difficulties. Hope you can see this. I have a raw. We're ranked third, so we should. It's going to be raining here for most of the game, and apologies. I didn't bring a tent. I didn't know that we were expecting this type of weather, and that's on me. So if we have to cut this broadcast short, it is nothing but apologies from me. The best part about State next week, no camera, no technical difficulties, and also a broadcast booth that will be covered.
Your parents, just so you know, I do have colored
that might
copies of the
blow
program for you, but I'm not going to
your
hand them out
eardrums
with
out.
the wind and the rain. Have your student athletes get with me on Monday, and we'll get you a colored copy of the program for your scrapbooks. And that goes for the girls' parents that are still here as well. Thank you.
And it is senior night, so of course some people wanting some springtime in Wyoming, as they say, is one of the best places ever. So we're going to try and just work with what we have here. That's going to be the motto of the day as the boys coming out. And I see a starting lineup here for Lander. I see, let's look at this here. Jacob Gatlin, a freshman, going to be making the start today. So we're about to get into our Sutherland starting lineup here. Here we go. Trying to cover and uncover my computer. We'll figure out exactly where we're going to get this snow or this rain coming from. The Sutherland starting lineup brought to you by the best hardware store in Riverton. If you need anything from the wood to the hammer to the nails, you go to Riverton and you go to Sutherland's on North Federal Boulevard. So starting lineup for the Lander Tigers, I see Colton Laird, I see Bear Blackburn, I see Carter Ayers, I see Craig Hansen, I see Silas Wheeler, Logan Witzke, Sawyer Knockhazel, and that is actually Sequil Lozier wearing 47. It is must have lost his jersey in the mail. Callum Wheeler also here, and then Tanner Ayers. And then, of course, in the goalie, it is Cody Elliott. For the boys here, and we're just going to put all of our papers in our nifty little machine here. So starting, and their numbers are not in order. Nash Picola, Trace Hadley, Trayvon Ollis, Seth Lord, and let's see here, 21. And we're just going to start anyway. So sorry about that. Our Sutherland starting lineup cut a little bit short. They didn't even go out there and stand with the officials like we get at the Lander game. And Mountain View has been had an up and down season, much like Lander. They've had a lot more downs than ups. Their first shot goes right into the hands of Cody Elliott, and as we get to 39 minutes, that's where we're going to start this clock in about 30 seconds. The ball stolen away on the far side. The kick goes up to Trace Hadley. Trace Hadley looked for a shot, and it gets blocked away by Callum Wheeler. 39:15 to go on our unofficial clock. They don't have an official clock here. Ball goes up, and it gets kicked by Colton Laird. Perfectly placed, though, for Trace Hadley to get around, and Sequil Lozier gets it in 39 minutes to go here. Callum Wheeler, best defenders in the state, and they looked like they were going to need him yesterday, and then next thing you knew, they rattled off a bunch of goals early. They're hoping to do the same thing today. Strike quickly, figure out what's the best game plan offensively, and just run with it all day. Tanner Ayers misses the ball there. So, though, does Trayvon Ollis. Gets it back to Tanner Ayers. Now Colton Laird with the speed. He gets past Brockton Walker easily, but he does not get past Cade Allen. That's not Jacob Gatlin. It's Sequil Lozier. Making sure Mountain View knows the number change here. Colton Laird gets the pass. He tries to go inside. He gets past one. He puts a shot on the goal. Oh, and it goes right into the goalie's hands. And then waiting for it to come out of the goalie's hands was Bear. Long kick by the goalie there. And it goes out of bounds off of Lander trying to stop it. Nice move by Sawyer Knockhazel. He gets around his own teammate, but he can't get the ball as Trace Hadley has it. Gets it up to Colton Laird. He pushes it to Carter Ayers. Couldn't get to it in time. Mountain View now triangle passing around Lander. Now number 19 has it. Gage Shepard. Gage spelled like 12 gauge too. And most of the time you see Gage, you see it like Gage Ghost from Lander, G-A-G-E. And now a long kick into the goal box. Tanner Ayers, well done. He jumps in the air, perfectly placed, and he knocks Trace Hadley to the ground before he can head the ball in. Carter Ayers now with a long pass. It's a little bit too long. And freshman goalkeeper, I just found out, Coulter Timms. That's who Mountain View is working with. Mountain View coming into this game 2-8. Lander coming into this game 5-7. Callum Wheeler heads it. Logan Witzke kicks it up to that far side. Well put there for Craig Hansen, and now Craig with a good pass up to Carter Ayers, and Ayers couldn't get to it in time and ends up getting kicked away by number 21 Brockton Walker. Now Colton Laird has it. Laird moves around Walker, trying to anyway, and then, a couple little pushes and shoves there, and ends up being in Mountain View ball. Tanner Ayers now bullies number 11, Aulis. And then Sawyer and Colton back and forth. They couldn't connect to each other, though, and it gets stolen away by Brockton. Brockton pushes it up, and a nice pass by Trace Hadley, and then it gets stolen away eventually, though, by Lander. The Mountain View AD has been nice enough to let me place all of my stuff underneath the tent if it does start to rain here. I do warn everyone, if we fall out of service again, like we did in between these games, as you are now watching a new stream if you are watching this, that stream for the girls game just cut, got the game going for the boys. Can't guarantee that we're going to be able to move everything without unplugging some stuff in the middle of this game at halftime. But if it does start raining before then, I really don't have anything I can do. I'm just going to have to pack up, and I'll see you guys at State. As Timms, both the girls and the boys team have a Timms relative at the goalie. The other one being Ashley Timms for the girls. As number 19 is trying to get some offense work, Gage Shepard. He crosses past Sawyer Knockhazel but couldn't get past Witzke, so he goes backwards. Now he ends up with the ball again. He's pointing to his teammate to move forward, and Knockhazel got it before he could, and Knockhazel just going to fire a shot way out of bounds. It's going to go out, and Coach Prinz kind of puts his hands up. There is Coach Prinz on your camera. And I don't know if I said this already or not, but there is a moose about 20 yards away, and the moose has already made for some trouble for some fans walking back to their cars, I guess. But yes, there is a Mountain View moose. Not a big one by any means, but also not a small one. And moose, very protective of their territory, so we're going to leave them alone, as that long kick from Witzke goes right into the chest of number 12, Braden Walker. Walker, pretty big factor in the basketball team, one of the best players on their team and in the 3A division there. He was their main scorer on a team that was desperate for scores. And we called a lot of games against Mountain View this year, including a elimination game that Lander won in the boys matchups during the 3A regional tournament that was right down the street at the Mountain View Dome. And now with 33:30 to go, we're going to get a free kick here from Braden Walker. Carter Ayers and Bear Blackburn talking to each other. Walker with a long kick, and it's going to go into the box, and it goes off the head of Callum. Callum heads it right to number 1, Nash Picola. Now over there, Sawyer Knockhazel and Picola going at it. He ends up getting the ball back out to Brockton Walker. Brockton Walker has to kick it all the way across the pitch. And now back and forth, stolen away by Callum, though. Finn Richards tries to keep it moving, and I got the ref right in my way, but it won't matter. Now number 5, Connor Antonino, he passes it up into the goal box to Trace Hadley, past Picola. And now over on that far side, number 19, Gage Shepard, back and forth, and they had a flag up. I didn't see what for. Oh, so it's going to be against Lander. Free kick incoming, as I have to recover my computer here. We're going to use the infant burp cloth, which I think is technically what it's for, so. Long kick from the free kick, and it gets headed away. Nicely done by Callum Wheeler to head it the right way. Again, apologies about the ref here. I can't do anything about that. As Carter Ayers has it in the middle of the pitch, he passes it kind of slowly over to Logan Witzke. Witzke tries to pass it up towards Bear Blackburn and gets kicked away right into some bikers. Not Harley bikers over there, just bikers, just normally riding a bike in the rain. And the throw-in finds Finn Richards, and then Finn almost gets kicked in the jaw there. High kick. And now a long stretch where Picola is just running past everyone. He gets it over Callum. He's going to take the pass, and the cross was stolen away by Tanner Ayers. Nicely done. Landon Solis keeps it in bounds, and then a little shove down for Witzke. And it's going to be against Solis there on the throw down. And that's a good word for what Picola just had. If you didn't hear the cohorts from Mountain View here, that was a scintillating run. Picola ran all the way from one end of the pitch to the other, and he ran past maybe Lander's best or second best player. And now a big shove in the back against Carter Ayers, and that led to Carter not even getting close to the ball. Carter upset about that, and now it's cleared by Mountain View. Gets all the way to Picola, and now Picola with a long lead, and that's going to go straight to Trace Hadley, who is offsides. We are looking at some rain here in the next 30 minutes, so again, I just want to warn people, if the feed cuts, it is most likely going to be the end of the game for us here. Just unprepared for rain. And this tent only does so much. If the rain starts to come a different way, we have a lot of plugins here. Lots of technology sitting right here exposed to the weather, as on that far side, Craig Hansen goes back and forth, and then Lander's going to get the ball on a throwback thanks to a kick out of bounds. And large mullet coming in for Casey Walker. And that's not his name. Casey Walker just has a very large mullet. Nowadays, the throw-in goes immediately off of Lander's leg and out of bounds. So coming out is going to be Trevon Ollis and Trace Hadley. Coming in is going to be Aiden Harmon and, again, Casey Walker. Throw-in for Mountain View. Goes right to number 5, Connor Antonino, and then it gets kicked back to Logan Witzke. Witzke has to kick it even further back to Callum Wheeler, and Callum's going to put up a high shot, and I just now realize no Otis Beeson. I don't know why he didn't make the trip today. He is a senior. Today's the last day. Colton Laird got the ball kicked out. We're going to get a corner kick here. This corner kick going to be taken it by Bear Blackburn. Bear Blackburn's kick far over everyone. It goes off of Colton Laird's ribs and then kicked up by Craig Hansen, and then Finn Richards trying to get to it. Now Craig has it on that far side. He stops, puts it back towards Witzke, and it gets stolen away. And now the numbers are in favor of Mountain View until Carter Ayers gets over there, slides into the ball and kicks it out of bounds, gives Lander some time. Sawyer Knockhazel now having to play defense. He does so pretty well, kicks it all the way across the pitch here. It's going to be taken away by Brockton Walker, kick towards Laird, And now all the way down, it's going to go out the near side touchline. So here's Tanner Ayers throwing it in. Coach Prinz tells him throw it long. I don't know how long he was planning on throwing it. I saved it. I'm in the game now. Tanner Ayers throws it right into Finn Richards. And then Lozier puts it up to Carter Ayers. Ayers trying to get it to Finn and gets stolen away by number 5, Antonino. Now Carter has it in the center circle. He's moving around 3 or 4 players, hits it off the butt of Sawyer Knockhazel. Now Witzke with it, moves towards the center circle, tries to get it back to Knockhazel, does, but then again, stolen away by Antonino, kicked out of bounds, and kicked out of bounds by Antonino. The throw into Bear Blackburn. We're 13 minutes into this game, still have a 0-0 score. Callum Wheeler moves it around number 1, Nash Bacola, gets it up to Wheeler through 2 defenders, and then he puts it up to Finn Richards, gets it to Bear Blackburn in the center. He's going to give it up to Colton Laird, and then it gets kicked away. And that would have been a great look for Colton Laird. He's had a few of them recently. And Tanner Ayers gets crossed over there in the middle as Mountain View now has numbers. And a long pass all the way across the pitch to number 19, Gage Shepard, and it's going to be kicked away, that time by Logan Witzke. Throw in coming up for Mountain View as Witzke kicked that one out of bounds. Landers Depth did not show up with him today. I see 4 players on the bench, only 3 of them wearing jerseys. And that ball, I don't know how it happened, but it goes out of bounds, last touched by Mountain View. So throw in this time goes to Finn Richards. Finn gets around 1 and passes it up for Carter Ayers on that left side. He moves around 1 player, gets past. He's got Colton Laird streaking open. Finn Richards now passes it to Bear. Bear passes it back to Tanner. Tanner Ayers, what's he going to do? He's going to pass it past Mountain View, gets it up to Colton Laird, and Laird loses it. Tanner Ayers recovers, gets it up to Blackburn. Blackburn going to take kind of a lofted pass, and I don't think Carter Ayers was running that way at the moment, so Carter was a little short on that. And it's still 0-0. Sawyer Knockhazel has it, gives it over to Finn. Craig Hansen stops, puts it up. Kicked back by Mountain View towards the center circle. Now Sawyer has it again. Sawyer passes it towards Bear. Doesn't get to him, though. Gets to Colton. Colton loses it, and now Mountain View running with it past the middle third. Picola has it in the middle third, going against, and now he has a long pass. They are on sides, and Cody Elliott jumps in front of it, and it's going to be a goal. And who was that? That was 36, Aiden Harmon. And 15 minutes into this game, and it's 1-0 in favor of Mountain View. And, we were talking about starting early. 24:56 is the clock. So we're going to let ours kind of roll down with it. And we're not going to get a chance. It's just going to keep running. And there we go. So Lander now working from behind Mountain View. And then a quick pass, and it almost gets perfectly placed for for Finn Richards. And Finn, one more level on that notch of speed, and he would have probably gotten to it before the goalie. Now on that far side, Solis versus Witzke. Witzke wins that. Witzke throws it in now right to Finn. Goes past Finn, right to Braden Walker. Walker turning around Carter Ayers, and he's going to have to try and run backwards with it. Now Bear Blackburn in the right position. He's going to kick it short, and it's low, and it's to the right of the goal. I like the intensity right off the bat after being scored on. Cody Elliott upset at himself over there, but honestly, it was just kind of a weird bounce. And again, you play on this field instead of turf, and you get kind of a different vibe. And we have a whistle here. I didn't see what for. Is it to accommodate Sawyer Knockhazel taking off his undershirt? I think it is. Oh, I guess the ball is a little flat here. Right? That's a smart ref to be able to notice that one. This from right outside the goal box. kicks it straight to number 23, Casey Walker. Walker turns over Colton Laird, and now another long lead for Harmon, and Harmon gets battled with by Lozier. Lozier ended up kicking out of bounds. Now Tanner Ayers with a nice stop, push it up to Colton Laird. Laird keeps it in bounds. And, a smart move to try and kick it under the legs of Cade Allen. And it's going to end up with a free kick here. Don't overthink it, Callum. You got this. Callum going to take this free kick from right in front of us. And he's going to take it, and it's going to curve right. Goes off the hands of the goalie. Oh, man, Craig Hansen had an opportunity, especially with the goalie out of box, and it just goes right underneath his legs. And now it's Picola getting past Lozier. A slide by Witzke. Doesn't do much. It keeps the ball in play for Mountain View, actually. And now Witzke again put his foot up. It goes back and towards and Witzke again hits the ground. He rolls over. Finn Richards had it, passed it up, and it gets stolen away right about halfway through this first half. Now over here to Walker. Walker stops with the orange shoes. Gets it up to Callum Wheeler, and a push in the back by Picola. That's going to be another free kick, and I don't think Callum's going to wait very long. He looked like he wanted to take it right away. Lander coaches kind of trying to help their team here. And if you want to play today, you got to bring your warm clothes. It's getting a lot colder, and now a pass all the way down to Aiden Harmon, and almost goes out of bounds. He ends up stopping it, pushing it back to Casey Walker. Walker just going to take the long shot. It's going to go to Cody Elliott pretty perfectly there, and Elliott makes the save there. Cody Elliott, lucky that they didn't try and crash the goal box there. They had 3 players running towards it. And now on that far side, it's Craig Hansen. Hansen up off the chest of number 6. And it almost could have been a handball, but now Casey Walker has it. He passes it towards the middle. Jacob Rudd looking to come in. Now Lander with a good steal. Finn Richards and Craig Hansen didn't know which one wanted it more. They give it up to Colton Laird. Laird's running with it, and he's running with Walker and Brockton Walker, and him just getting physical all day long. And now this ball, tightrope in the touchline, saved by Tanner. Tanner down to Sawyer. Sawyer with a strong pass to Bear Blackburn, just goes a little bit beyond him, and Braden Walker steals it. Puts it up towards the middle, gets it past the center circle. He's working up on Sawyer. Sawyer forces a pass over to Picola, and now they're double teaming him. Carter Ayers and Bear Blackburn kind of collide, and that's Callum Wheeler. I apologize. Callum and his own teammate run into each other. Now Finn Richards has it on this near side. He's going to take a crossing pass to Carter Ayers, and Ayers was already running past it. Craig Hansen stops it from going out of bounds, gets it up to Ayers. Ayers turns, puts a boot on it, and it hits the left side of the net. It looked good, but man, that was a close one there. As we get Braden Lincoln and Jacob Rudd coming in for Bear Blackburn and Craig Hansen. I think you guys have to tell her to sub in. Yeah. And yes, we are sitting pretty much middle of the field here as we have crossed that halfway point. And there's a lot of confusion here. Mountain View trying to figure out who gets what, the ball situation, and then we have double-checked another ball, and this one is, again, flat. Wonder if we were working with flat balls the whole first girls game, too. And that one is apparently good enough for the ref, so we're going to get a free kick here from Braden Walker. I didn't see us stop the clock, so we didn't either. It's 18:56. Braden Walker waiting and waiting and waiting, and now he finally kicks it. It's a high kick all the way down to the halfway line, stopped by Witzke. Witzke puts it up, and it gets stolen away by Braden Lincoln. Lincoln tries to get something set up for Finn and didn't go, so now It's going to be all the way back and over past Tanner Ayers. So now 21, Brockton Walker came all the way down here, kicks it towards the attacking third. Now Picola has it, working up on a much shorter Jacob Rudd. Rudd tries to get a little push. Finn Richards ends up getting the ball, kicks it away, kicks it towards his own goal, but it gets pushed to a white jersey. Now Colton Laird hits right off his foot a little hard. Casey Walker has it on this near side, and you can't see, I can't see, it doesn't go out of bounds. Kicks it back, Tanner Ayers ends up stealing it, and goes up to Jacob Rudd. Now to Finn Richards. Richards kicks it high, goes hard off the head of number 14, Will Anderson. And Anderson, if I'm not mistaken, was the savior in the Mountain View basketball game against Lander. I know they still lost, but he put up 3 threes in the fourth quarter and really kept Mountain View in the game. Him and Colt Henry really had a big impact on that team this year. Over on that far side, the ball is going to be kicked, and it's going to go out the back of the goal line. I heard a whistle. I didn't see where. And now we have numbers coming in. Andrew Harmon, Isaac Timms, and J.J. Sawyer coming in for Connor Antonino, Gage Shepard, and number 6, Landon Salas. So we're going to get a goal kick here. 17 minutes to go in this first half. Kicked right to Carter Ayers at the halfway line. He turns and burns. Braden Lincoln with a good lofted pass, but it gets stolen away before Jacob Rudd can get to it. And coach from Mountain View saying, fresh legs, we've got fresh legs, and they're trying to push and attack with those fresh legs. Lander does not have as deep of a bench, as we've kind of mentioned, as Braden Lincoln gets the ball stolen away there. Kicked up to Picola. Picola and Callum Wheeler fighting with it. And Callum going to end up with the ball, and now he's going to throw a deep pass past Braden Lincoln right to Braden Walker. Lincoln crashes on the 2, and now he's going to run on top of the ball and fall, and they're going to call that on Braden. All right, this rain starting to hit. We're going to cover up everything. The ball in the middle third, controlled well by Mountain View all day. Picola has it now, turns on Braden Lincoln. High lofting pass himself goes to Cody Elliott. So Elliott pass, the roll goes to Witzke. Witzke, Richards. And now Mountain View working with it. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that's not my car. That's beeping. And over there, Picola pushes it up, and it gets hit off of a Lander player before it goes out the back of the goal line. So a shot on goal ends with a corner kick possibility here. And here, Picola is going to have a corner kick here. They have every single player except for 2 in the attacking box. And the kick is up. The kick is high. The kick's off the head of Callum Wheeler, of all people. And then it's going to end up in the foot of number 21, Brockton Walker, and then a high sailing ball. And that's going to go into the other neighborhood. And I'm going to pre-warn anyone watching this. I have a feeling that halftime is going to be where we have to cut this short. Yeah, it's raining. And it's not fun. And the birds are moving too, so you know that's happening. As Picola comes off. So that is great news for Lander. Offensively, that's really been all Mountain View has to go through. I know it's not him with the goal, but Picola was definitely a charging force. Now Timms with a drop kick right to Braden Lincoln. Lincoln pushes it over to Sawyer Nakes. Well, now some triangle passes between Sawyer and Finn, and it gets all the way down. It's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to go out of bounds off Lander. Throwing it in is going to be Brockton Walker. Walker. And this one goes high up to Tanner Ayers, and now a quick high pass. It's going to be headed away and goes off the back of number 36, Aiden Harmon, the one with the goal. And now Finn Richards has it. He gets to it before Mountain View can, and he's moving around the corner. Stops, pushes towards the middle, gets it up to Sawyer. Sawyer takes an extra step and can't get to it. Carter Ayers has to knock it back to Logan Witzke. Witzke gets stopped, pushed over. Now Finn has it. Finn moving across the pitch. Now Witzke fakes a long kick, and he actually got number 2, Isaac Timms, to rock, and now he's going to take a long shot, and that was Sawyer. And Sawyer Nakazo doesn't take a lot of shots, so that one a little wide left. Dun, dun, dun. Camera's acting a little funky here, but it still seems like it's doing well. In the middle here, how much time left is Landers trying to just push it in the attacking third, and it's going to go out the back of the goal line again. 12-10 to go. If you are trying to watch the rest of this game, I would back out of YouTube after the halftime show, and I would switch to My Local Radio. Just type that into YouTube. My Local Radio, type in Mountain View versus Lander, and a long free kick goes into the knees of the goalie here. Carter Ayers going to take a shot now, goes into the knees of a Mountain View Buffalo, and it goes back, and that was probably the best opportunity they've had all game long. As it moves up now, Mountain View up to Casey Walker. Walker across the halfway line. Walker pushes it now off the knees of Callum Wheeler, and Mountain View recovers well. They kick a high pass. Witzke heads it back. Braden Lincoln has it now on that far side. Lincoln with the left foot. He's moving around. He stops, puts number 14 kind of in a haze, and now he has to kick it back. And we have more numbers coming in for Mountain View. Again, Mountain View has heck of amount of depth compared to Lander today. And now, ooh, a hard fall. And that's Isaac Timms, number 2, the sophomore. Coach Prinz telling Sawyer Nakazel, stay more central. I have a feeling he means stay more in the middle because he keeps falling to the side. A long kick off the head of Tanner Ayers saves a goal there. Well done. And Tanner and Carter Ayers have really helped this team a lot, and that ball is going to be another free kick here, and we might get a yellow card with how much complaining we're getting. And they've learned their lesson, especially with State coming up, not to talk anymore. 10-10 to go in this game. My camera is getting water in some holes that they're not supposed to have water in. I'm not trying to tell anyone more and more what's happening wrong here, but I'm just warning you in case my feed drops. Number 6 takes a long kick, and it goes just a hair over the goal. Craig Hansen coming in now for Finn Richards. But yes, I would take this time right now, go into another YouTube link, another tab, and type in My Local Radio. My Local Radio, look up the live video they have now. They're a little bit better covered. They don't have water hitting the inside of their camera here. They're doing a great job. They've done a great job all season. We were with them in the very first game, Lander versus Mountain View. Lander versus Jackson was Lander's first game, but the first game with them, Lander was facing off against Mountain View in the second week of the season that they were finally able to get games going. And since then, both of our broadcast groups have grown leaps and bounds. And I now know next year not only bring a table, but to bring an umbrella. And that's going to be something that Mountain View weather is going to kind of help, as Carter Ayers trying to get around 2 players, gets passed up to Craig. Craig over to Colton. Colton going to take a shot, and it goes right of the goal. Colton Laird has been hungry for a win or for a goal last couple games since he got that one against Lyman, or was it Pinedale? It was their pink night against Pinedale, I'm pretty sure. And Colton Laird, deservingly so, needs a goal. Now Picola back in the game. Quick pass, gets stolen away by Sawyer. Sawyer kicks it up to number 35, Andrew Harmon. Casey Walker and Craig Hansen, I thought that would have been a handball on Casey, but didn't do anything there. Colton Laird, great defense by number 35, Andrew Harmon, and that's going to be a penalty. As I say that, against Harmon, he was just running. He had put a hand on all three ball carriers there in the last 10 seconds before that. He was just all over the place. So now Callum Wheeler, one thing he loves to do is take long free kicks. See what he does here. Here he goes. He's putting it up on the goal, and it goes off the hands of Timms. And the goal kick, or the drop kick, I'm sorry, goes all the way out of bounds on that far side. Finn Richards coming in, 7:18 to go. Braden Lincoln coming in. Good job, Braden. The throw in from Callum Wheeler, strong. He's got a set of guns on him, man. He threw that ball about 40 yards. Now Lozier has to stop it from going any further. He kicks it back to Callum. I don't know if Callum was waiting for it or not, but Sawyer over there gets it up to Finn. Stolen away. Stolen by Casey Walker. Sawyer Knockhazel gets a little bumpy there with him, and now a little jump for Casey, and Callum Wheeler stops it, gets it up to Sequel Lozier. Lozier kicks it up to Finn. Finn moves around one, tries to pass it, and hits a Mountain View player before it gets to Colton Laird. Colton turns around. He's going up against Brockton Walker. Finn Richards, ooh, and a push by Casey Walker. And Finn kind of getting up a little pained there. I think he took a shot. I think he took an elbow right to the adult region, and right there, they're actually going to give it to Mountain View. So whatever happened, it seems to have been on Finn Richards, not on Casey Walker. And now a long free kick off the head of Tanner Ayers. Finn, obviously fine, down below the waist, gets it up to Carter Ayers. Ayers turns, burns, passes one guy. He's going to take a shot with the left foot, and it goes off to the right side of the goal. And they're saying that was last touched by Mountain View, so it must have gone off of the lead one. And 5.5 minutes to go. 1-0 is the score. Finn Richards has to be told by Coach Prinz about 5 times to take the free kick, or the corner kick. And some water has gotten on the camera. Finn Richards with the corner kick. Right to Callum Wheeler, goes off his face more than his head, and then another header by Mountain View. And now stolen away, Mountain View's gonna clear it. Less than 5 minutes to go. Logan Witzke with a nice stop and turn. He got Mountain View on their behind, and then Carter Ayers gets bum rushed, and they're gonna call that on, I think, number 5, Antonino. And another free kick from right outside the goal box. 4.5 minutes to go. 4 Buffaloes have set up as a wall in front of Callum Wheeler. Callum, is he gonna short pass it, or is he gonna take it? He's gonna take the goal. It goes into the hands of the goalie, off of his hands, and then Carter Ayers looked to run in and just bum rush the goalie, and he almost got there. Some words were said between the goalie and Carter, and he's laughing as he walks his way out. And now on the other side, Picola was looking for a good pass. And now Sequel Lozier on that far side. 47 is 27. It's Lozier. Lozier is the defender there. He's just rocking 47. Yeah, it's actually Sequil Lozier. I think he forgot his jersey. And we have some subs coming in right as we approach 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And I'm just going to go ahead and call it. I'm going to say at halftime, we're going to wrap this up. Turn to My Local Radio. Can't say enough about these guys. Worked with them before in basketball. Worked with them before in football. It is one of the better radio local programs. They broadcast a lot of games down here in the bottom left corner of Wyoming, the southwest corner. They got a lot of Lyman games, Mountain View games, Rock Springs, and they are covering this game as it hits the back right side of the net. And it looked like a goal there, but Cody Elliott watched it. 2:45 to go until we're just going to go ahead and cut this feed. The rain getting all up in everything here. It's my fault. Even if I did bring an umbrella or a tent, it is raining sideways here. So we're going to be saving our technology so that we can go to state next week. Without a board, without a computer, we don't have anything to bring you state. So, and I would use the Riverton kit, but well, I guess there's still a chance for Riverton to not make state, as the girls, they could lose today, or lose tomorrow, and I think 2 losses and you might be out. I'm unsure how the 4A West Regionals is going to look. This is Riverton's first time in the 4A tournament since I moved here, and a long throw and nice kick out by Jacob Rudd, and Rudd kicks that right out of bounds. Under 2 minutes to go here. The throw going to go off and into us, so Tanner Ayers going to throw it in here. Tanner fakes it, throws it off the head of Jacob Rudd, backwards a little bit, and then it gets cleared away. And running down the field is number 8, Bridger Lake, and Lake runs up. Oh, and then a ball off the head of Picola. Rudd ends up getting it here, gets it back out to Tanner, over to Finn. Finn back to Tanner, or to Rudd, I apologize. The triangle passing worked, and then it got kicked away. Callum Wheeler with a little slide, but the grass is not as forgiving there. It just stopped the ball. Didn't really slide into anything there. Now Callum Wheeler has to go up against Picola. Picola gets by. Picola takes a high shot, and it goes way high, way off. A minute to go. Again, My Local Radio. Go to YouTube. Typically don't give people our competitors' names, but right now they are better set up than I am for this rain. And we're going to go ahead and just move forward to state. Can't wait to see what the schedule looks like after this weekend. We will have that schedule on wyotoday.com. We'll also have it in the Ranger and Lander Journal next Wednesday. But as soon as that schedule comes out, we will have it on wyotoday.com, and we will let you know the 4A state tournament schedule as well as the 4A West Regionals and East Regionals taking place kind of around us right now. Up in Rock Springs is where those West Regionals are. Number 6 going to get a free kick here. That's Landon Salas. Salas over 3 Lander Tigers, and then it goes in. And with just a few seconds left in the game, Salas gets it past, and it goes bouncing past the line and then past another player, and boom, just like that, it's 2-0. Lander's going to be down at halftime. Is it Salas or Salas? Salas? Salas. Landon Salas with a goal. And just skips over the grass, and that is exactly what we were talking about with Georgia Chance. It's very unforgiving compared to the turf. So that'll do it for us here. So far, I would give player of the game to Carter Ayers, as well as player of the game maybe to Finn Richards, but we're going to just go ahead and we're going to watch My Local Radio with you as the rain has seeped into a lot of my technology. We will see you at state next week, and if you are a Lander Lobos fan, be sure to check WYO Today tomorrow, as we will be having games at 11 a.m., 7 p.m., and then all day Sunday. We will talk to you tomorrow, Lander.
Remember, when there's ice and snow, take it slow. This message is brought to you by WYDOT.
It's more than clocking in or collecting a paycheck.